Elon Musk and Trump occupy the same space. They are both monarchs of Twitter. In a way, when Trump was dethroned as Twitter king, Elon Musk took up that space. 100 million followers. Every single tweet is a news story. He's a figure adored by libertarians. He's hated by the left. So when Trump and Musk have a spat, how do the left respond? Why is it, in particular in this instance, that Trump is criticising Musk? Let's have a look.
I tell you what, Elon.
Trump's very good at repeating a word, isn't he?
China is not going to buy Twitter. Where did you hear that before? From me. From a fake account. She says fake. A lot of them.
He's proud of every aspect of his reality, isn't he? A lot of fake accounts. A lot of them. There's nothing about him that he doesn't sort of attach pride and ego to.
Nah, he's got himself a mess. You know, he said the other day, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist, but he's not going to be buying it. He's not going to be buying it. Although he might later. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? He's got a pretty rotten contract. I looked at his contract. Not a good contract.
Even criticising someone's going, not a good contract.
Not a good contract.
Here's what Donald Trump thinks. When Elon Musk came to the White House asking me for help on all of his many subsidised projects, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere, Trump there demonstrating his ability to come up with really good disses. He's got a beautiful way of describing Elon Musk's lifelong projects. Cars that don't work, driverless cars that crash, rocket ships to nowhere. Without subsidies, he'd be worthless, telling me how he's a big Trump fan and Republican. I could have said, drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. Amazing. Amazing that anyone can communicate that confidently about another billionaire, and in this instance, the world's richest man, and in fact, in so many respects, Trump's heir, certainly as the patriarch king of Twitter. This is the story that we're talking about. Elon Musk could be forced by a US court to complete his $44 billion takeover of Twitter, according to legal experts, despite pulling the plug on the transaction. The Tesla chief executive told Twitter on Friday that he's terminating the deal, citing concerns over the number of spam accounts on the social media platform. On Sunday night, Bloomberg reported that Twitter had assembled a legal team to sue Musk. First, Musk wanted Twitter, and Twitter didn't want Musk to have it. Now, Musk don't want Twitter, and Twitter's going to force Musk to have it. It's such a complicated situation. We need the clarity that only the mainstream media can give us.
Elon Musk is a man.
Good. Now I understand. What is Elon Musk? He's so complex. Is he an errant child? Is he a wanderer? Is he a minstrel working in binary code?
Elon Musk is a man.
Oh, thank God we came to you. You've cleared that up. Can we get even more detail?
Elon Musk, the world's richest man.
He's a rich man. That's all we need to know. I'm so glad that these mainstream media outlets are there to make absolutely clear to us the reality, the complex reality behind the news. He is a man. He is a rich man. And what are those white things in his mouth? And what are these looking holes that he uses when he surveys reality?
The world's richest man was in a laughing mood today.
Laughing mood? Like they give you like really inane, unnecessary, phatic information, then they make wild assumptions like he's in a laughing mood. Another evolution of mainstream news is when they sort of try to make it cool. Like this newscaster.
He says he is terminating the deal.
Think I'm going to do a little bit of sign language. I'm going to just hang loose and do a bit of news how I learned it on the streets, baby.
Terminating the deal.
This show, MSNBC's Morning Joe, is a show that I've been on myself, had a pretty good time.
It's just sort of taking it all in.
You are talking about me as if I'm not here and as if I'm an extraterrestrial. Sometimes I'm the problem, though, because in this clip, when they're talking about bots, all I can think of is bottoms. I'm childishly ruining the news while they're trying to do it.
Musk tweeted a series of 4 photos of himself laughing with captions that read, "They said I couldn't buy Twitter. Then they wouldn't disclose bot info."
That's much more enjoyable if every time they say bot, you imagine that he's talking about bottoms.
Now they want to force me to buy Twitter in court. Now they have to disclose bot info in court.
I use the same technique if someone's got more than one son that they refer to as their boys. I just imagine they're talking about their testicles the whole way through it. Yeah, I had to drop my boys off earlier. My boys are giving me a lot of trouble. I had to scratch my boys in the car on the way here. What? What was the last one?
Well, how about this analogy, Dana?
Here on the show The Five on Fox, they don't understand what an analogy is or how analogies break down. An analogy is a story or metaphor that demonstrates something. It's not literally the thing.
When you buy a house,
Yeah, you buy a house,
you make an offer,
you make an offer,
and then you start in with the contracts,
you get the contracts,
and then you bring in the inspector.
you bring in the inspector. That's a really important bit that I really emphasize.
And when the inspector finds termites,
Uh-oh.
then you say, I'm giving you less money or the deal's off.
Because of the termites.
I mean, there's termites in Twitter, right?
You can't force the buyer to buy a termite-infested house.
How did you get on this show? There's no termites. We're just mucking about the termites. Termites was a metaphor. Like the termites, they could eat all of the letters off of the keyboard, and then you can't type nothing or do any tweets. And maybe they'll get into that bird's nest, that little bird, and they'll eat his eggs.
Right. So how can
I
they
don't
do
know.
that?
That's a great question.
This guy in particular, I really enjoy him. He's determined not to use a termite analogy, which we've just shown beyond all measure is inoperable. He likes to use instead a divorce metaphor, and he's really pleased with his divorce metaphor, and he uses it whenever he can.
Adriana, you could call this the most expensive divorce in history.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a divorce, and it's the most expensive divorce in history.
Twitter could demand Musk pay a $1 billion breakup fee.
Pretty expensive divorce settlement, wouldn't you say? $1 billion breakup fee, like a divorce.
It almost sounds like a messy divorce.
I think I'll use that divorce thing every time I'm on the TV.
It almost sounds like a messy divorce.
I think a messy divorce.
This guy, when talking about it, he places really unnecessary and harsh conditions on like the correspondent that he's got on. Right, you got 30 seconds or less to explain the legal complexities of the Twitter deal. But then he fills at least 30 seconds with describing how succinct he needs her to be. It's out of order.
Sophie Ellsworth, very quickly, I need to answer in 30 seconds or less. Elon Musk has suggested on Twitter that his pulling out of the deal to buy Twitter is actually part of a possible grand scheme to get them to disclose what's really going on behind the scenes in that company.
Yeah, I get it. I know what it is. The Twitter deal is breaking down with Elon Musk. They're still talking.
Very quickly answer this one. Do you think that Elon Musk is part of or is running a grand strategy to find out the true nature of Twitter?
Get out with me, you stupid cow! You took 30 seconds to ask the bloody question.
I would not be surprised if this deal does not go through. I think it's in absolute dire straits, and I wouldn't be surprised if Twitter are left red-faced with this because they have not been transparent.
Sophie Ellsworth, media writer for The Australian. That's all the time we have for tonight.
Stop going about time. He's obsessed with time, isn't he? He's sort of like the opposite of Joe Biden. Joe Biden thinks he's got infinite time. This guy got no time at all. I ain't got time to even explain how little time there is. T-I-M-E, time. That's how you spell the word, but there's so much more to it. You're wasting time.
I think you are absolutely right about Elon Musk. He is canny.
I thought we were in a rush.
And he knows what he's doing when it comes to opening the books on Twitter.
But at least we can rely on Brian Stelter to know what his job is. Look how happy he is when he hears what his job is.
And for more on this, here with us now is CNN's chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter.
Yeah, that's right. I am chief correspondent. Take that, Joe Rogan.
Chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter.
Elon Musk's presence in the culture is like a cyclonic berserker. The media doesn't know how to report on him properly. They recognise that a conflict between Trump and Musk is complicated. Which one of these two people do we hate the most? They recognise that a tech billionaire making an acquisition in tech billionaire terrain is in itself really just different tech billionaires competing for power. How can you like one and not like another one without reverting to the cultural war values that they use, in my opinion, to continually mask the fact that they're not interested in improving the lives of ordinary people. They're not interested in holding power to account. They're not interested in you. They're not interested in me. They're not interested in improving the social or political space for ordinary people. So all they do is get immersed continually in a tundra of condemnation around issues that ultimately won't affect our lives that much. But that's just what I think. What do you think? I know loads of you love Elon Musk. Let us know in the comments below what you think about that. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you enjoyed it, watch either one of these two and sign up to our mailing list. More important than any of that, please stay free.